Hello everyone, welcome back. Today we'll be looking at a personal grail kit of mine. This and the master grade of the Amazing Red Warrior. This model kit was, well, not model kit, this design was featured heavily in Gundam Build Fighters. I don't remember which one though, might have been the original series. But as you can see, it is, well, it has design elements from the classic, like, RX 78 Gundam, and honestly, I kind of like it. It's so, compared to how other Build Divers kits look like, this one is so normal looking. Like, well, except for, like, the backpack bits, but yeah. And unlike every other Gundam before, this one doesn't have the little mouth vents that I kind of like, just giving kind of like that knightly look. But yeah, compared to its wavemates, contemporaries, I don't know how Gundams normally structure their, waves, or they just, make an entire, batch of this and then send it off to, like, whoever buys it. But yeah. So, this was a kit that I was kind of looking for a long time, thanks to Type V3, I think that's who it was, who I don't think is gone, but if you look them up, their channel is pretty much dead, unfortunately. But yeah, like, it was then that kind of inspired me to get this kit and see what it was all about. Then this kit and its, well, I say its bigger brother, that being the Master Grade. And this will get its own review next week at the start of the new year. So look forward to that. So yeah. So then, speaking of which, I hope you guys have had a good Christmas and a good, 2024, I guess. Even though it's been rife with chaotic elements as of late. But hey, I just say try looking hopeful and look on the bright side of life, I guess. It's the best way to say. At least that's what I try to do. So yeah. And that's why I'd make these videos, honestly. Just try to look on the bright side of things that we all love. But yeah. So this kit, to my knowledge, was all original. So because most Build Fighter kits are kit bashes, essentially, of a new parts runner and then a bunch of older parts from an older kit. Like, I don't know, I'm trying to think of examples at the moment. Like how they used, like, parts for a, I don't know, my brain is currently blanking, actually. It's just that for some kits, and especially these Build-A-Fighter kits, it essentially allows Bandai to be a bit cheap and, just reuse the same molds, but, recolor them, add parts that are technically more accurate for the original versions than the actual original versions had. Or, like, for example, on the Double O, like, kits that they did for Build Fighters, they actually include green, like, clear pieces for those, so that way they would, well, have clear, like, reflective bits on the joints, I think. Like, they didn't have the joints comprised of them, but yeah, I don't know, it's just, yeah. So, yeah, this kit, the Amazing Red Warrior, is pretty much built from the ground up. There is no leftover plastic with this guy at all. There is the like a black repaint of this guy with a different barrel for this rifle bit here, but that's really it. If you want a black and gold version of this mold, then I wouldn't say that one's bad. It's just that it's not a lot of detail. There's a lot of detail hidden in the, expanse. So yeah. So let's take a look at this guy's accessories and then we can move on to his articulation and such. So to start off with, let's just take off this, because this is technically also an accessory. This just stays on here, like, at least according to, like, I don't know, the Build Fighters lore, or whatever's in the manual that I can't read, unfortunately, because this was a time before they included English translations into, like, the build manuals for these guys. But yeah, you can also technically take it off. It is on a port as well. And these little armatures here are on a ball joint and a hinge, and with another, like, porthole for a hinge. And these can move here. I don't think you can remove them to be individually, movable, but I mean, you could try and customize it if you want. But yeah, you can take this off. It does extend, have a handle here. Then also, a lot of the colors that you see on this kit that aren't plastic are painted on. This kit does come with stickers that I have in this baggie here. That I don't know what these are for, besides I think being the initials for the pilot, I guess. Correct me in the comments. I haven't really watched a lot of Build Fighters, honestly. So yeah, so it just plugs in on here. Then you can extend it and then bring it around. You can have the mobile suit hold it, just feed it through the fist, and there you go. Just it limits the arm articulation because, well, I mean, your target. So unless you're like doing an action scene where they're going head on, you're not really going to get that many dynamic displays with this cannon specifically. But that's the beauty of it. Not okay. Like the ball joints have gotten a bit loose over time, at least on my copy. That you can fold it up and put it away back here, allowing him to use some of his other accessories. So yeah, so he does come with this gun separately that you can attach this blade to. It just uses these two like hooks here to go in, just like so. There is also a longer version that you can if you want a bigger sword, because the handle does move and you can make it a sword. So and gun, sword, etc., etc. But yeah. And then also there's some nice little detailing spots that I put some like gunmetal paint in there to just, I don't know, just spruce it up, and gunmetal paint to the barrel as well, if you can see it there. So yeah, you can hold it pretty well. Point and shoot. And if you saw on the sides here, you can put it on the back here to store it. And I think with the articulation, you can have him grab it. So yeah, just like so. But yeah. And well, we're going to talk about this last because this has a lot of option parts, especially on this portion here. So yeah, it does come with an arm-mounted beam saber. You are meant to use this beam in the box, just the short one, which honestly is pretty nice to have a little arm blade on here. But if you wanted it to be longer, because on the same mold, these are the Exia beam saber blades, I think. At least those are the ones I know that they're used in. You can use the longer variants if you wanted a longer blade. And there are 2 copies of each of these. So if you wanted to give the extra beams to another kit, then boom. If you wanted to use them for like spare parts and such, then there you go. It's like that's really the only bit of spare partage that is really in this kit, and it's not bad, but it means there's less wastage, kind of, except for, well, I'll talk about that when we get to the master grade. But yeah, he also does come with this little blaster that, let me get this out of his hands. Raise that down. That he can hold, but it looks kind of awkward, honestly. Like, you can put it into the elbows to, make it look a little bit better, but even then, it's kind of awkward. And then he also does come with this other gun, which is, I guess, supposed to be like a beam Gatling gun? Correct me in the comments, I don't remember. that you can put in the other hand to have him go heavy wembo. Heavy wembo? My brain is not at 100% tonight. I'm sorry. Even though you'll probably be seeing this in the morning. My sense of time is just messed up. I'm just completely sorry. But yeah, this weapon does have options that you can take this section and the what I think is supposed to be the ammo drum off, and then plug in this little singular beam thing in, and then you can plug in this little section here, and then you got a different looking weapon. I don't know if there's any story difference between the two, but what you're really supposed to do, or at least that's what I like to do on my kit, is you take this weapon and then slide it into the hole back here, making a mega beam launcher. I think that's what this is supposed to be. And this can go on either side, so there are ports on either side. So if you get two of this kit, then you can have them dual wielding these types of things. So just fold up this handle back here, then you can plug it in right there. You can have it underslung, and the handle is movable, so you can move it to the side here and have him hold it that way, which is pretty cool. A little bit more direction in any case than the just straight version that is the like hyper bazooka. I think that's what that's supposed to be called. Again, the manual isn't in English, so yeah. So he is armed to the teeth. Honestly, I tend to just keep the beam gatling part on because I feel like it just looks a lot better for a bigger weapon. Honestly. And yeah. It also does come with this little shield bit here. That is honestly pretty cute. Kind of referencing the original Gundam shield. That supposedly has like a taser thing in there, or just like Vulcans, including the little Vulcans on top of the head here that I painted in gunmetal. If the camera will focus, please. There we go. But yeah, also the gunmetal in here, in these little like thruster spots on the crotch here, and inside of these little circle bits, those are all painted on. This it's all like red plastic underneath, or white plastic in case of these. But yeah, I tried to get it as at least as accurate as it was on the manual. So yeah, so then also one last thing that I forgot to mention. He does come with a extra pair of hands, and that being a pair of fists that the camera won't focus on. There we go. So you just want him standing there like stoically with nothing in his hand, and you don't like the hole in the fist, then you get an extra pair of fists. I do wish this came with a pair of open hands, because on like the art of like, I think it was in the show, like he descended from like the heavens or something, like in his introduction, and had like his like hands open and such. But if you do get some of the like one of the older hand like kits, I think that they sold around at that time, that I think recently got a re-release. I could be wrong. You can get this guy like open hands of like the rounded like medium type, I think. But anyway, so let's get on to the articulation. And then we can do like a couple more comparisons actually. So yeah. Actually, one feature I forgot. If you rip off his chest and take this part out and flip it around, and if you take his little waist skirts off like that, and then move it down to this second spot here, come on, and do the same thing on the opposite side, you can do the hidden missile gimmick that it had in the show, which I feel like is pretty nice. It's a simple part swap. That even then, you just turn this part around and then just move these parts down, and then boom. Also, I painted them pretty nicely in the gunmetal, assuming a camera will focus on it. There we go. But yeah, let's get all of this out of the way. One second. So yeah, let's get on to articulation. So this guy does have a polycap ball jointed neck. So ball joint at the head can do a full 360. I do recommend putting some super glue like behind these thin antennas just to strengthen them up a bit, mostly because I fear this figure like toppling down from a shelf one day and then, the V-fin breaking, and I don't have the skills to fix that if I can't find it. So, yeah. So, can look up and down that far. The shoulder, like, pauldron, like these shoulder like, thruster things, can move, like, side, side like that, and they can move up and down. So, you can position these out of the way of the shoulders, just like so if you wanted to, just to give it like the look of extra thrust, I guess, along with the back vents. So yeah, and with that you can get the shoulders to a full rotation. They can go out that far. I think no, actually sometimes on some figures this little gray section around the like around the arm ball joint can move out and forward, but I don't think it can on this figure. I think it's just solid. So there's a full rotation, double jointed elbows, and then a ball joint at the wrist. There is a waist rotation, but if you just lift it up a little bit off the polycap, you can get a full 360. There is a backwards ab crunch, there's backwards and forwards movement in the, abdomen area. The hip skirts can move out that far and move forward and back a bit. Okay. Yeah, this is a slight problem with this kit. Like, sometimes these parts like to fall off if you have them in their open state. I'm just going to close this one. The butt skirt can move back, so that's as far back as you're getting. But you can get pretty far forward, actually, which is pretty nice. Knees can bend to a little bit over 90. The ankles can move forward and back a bit, and the actual foot itself is on a ball joint. So that's good. So yeah, honestly, some pretty decent articulation, and if you want to get this guy into a shooting pose or like some sort of slashing pose, especially with the, two melee parts that he has, or at least the two melee weapons that he can use, that being the gun sword and the beam saber emitter thing, then like he's honestly really good. He is a great base high grade if you want to delve into something that looks a little bit more unique than the RX-78-2 Gundam. Which, surprisingly, I don't think any of the runners this guy has, which, this guy, if you don't know what a model kit is, then they come in on, like, sprues, essentially, where all these parts are attached. Where if you see on some parts of this, like, right here, that little bit of discoloration in the plastic right there, that's where I cut it off of the runner. Then, yeah, like, it's pretty much all original, like, really good base high grade that is a bit more unique than just your standard, like, Granddaddy Gundam. So, yeah. So, would I recommend getting this guy? If you can find it for a good price, I say go for it. Like, if you find it for, like, good, like, 20, like, even lower than that, like, $20, then I say go for it. If you find it for anything higher than that, then, But, yeah. Also, quick little comparison. Here is the amazing Red Warrior high grade compared to another high grade that I've reviewed, and apparently that's been out of focus the entire time. God damn it. Where is it? There you are. Here is the high grade Ariel, who was my first ever review on this channel, and of which I'll be linking the entire playlist in the comments down below. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like, comment, and subscribe. Share with all your friends, all those fun doodads. And I hope you guys have enjoyed, and I hope you guys will enjoy or I hope you guys have enjoyed the past year of all this, and, well, so have I. Here's to the next year. This is me, signing out. Peace.